Hello my beautiful darlings, how are you doing? I hope everything is okay with you and you're fine. So let's talk about one interesting idea which came to my mind, and this is about works and different works in this universe, and the idea is that everything is connecting, everything is important, and everything that you want to achieve in your life just is some kind of a work. So, for example, guys, we sometimes do not think that all our spheres we can treat as work. For example, or let's take a physical sphere. You have to do exercise, yeah, like for example, every day. So if you treat it as a work, as a part of your duties, like everyday duties, everyday work, so probably it might be, how can I say, easier for you to fulfill it, because you understand that, okay, I have, like when we are at work, we understand, right, our duties, that we must do it, etc., etc. But when we are dealing with ourselves, so sometimes we say like, okay, if I don't do it, nothing will happen, and blah blah blah. So we just find a lot of excuses not to do this or that. So it's a kind of not obligatory, but it's a kind of, you know, compulsory, if I can say so. And the idea, probably, if you change your mind, you change your perspective towards this idea that all the spheres in your life you might consider as your work, I think probably it can help you in some way. And some of this work you can leverage, for example, doing your makeup. It's not exactly necessarily. So I think that the things that you love and you nobody can do it for you. For example, take a shower. This is your work, yes. And the things that you don't love, but someone can do it for you, you need to leverage. For example, if you don't like cooking, you can hire a cook for you, right, and spend this time on something that you love, or earn money and to pay to this cook. So another interesting idea about work is that everything in this world is so okay, just let me try to explain you this. It's so connecting. When we talk about work, it is very connecting actually, and again, it's like the whole universe is like a big system, big one organization, like any organization, or even our body work like this. So just we how can I say, just do not understand sometimes this system, but this is very interesting, I guess. So for example, let's take let's say you need to buy a book, yeah. So just a very simple action, just go and buy the book. But I think we sometimes just do not think about that the whole universe, including you, take part in this process, in your just simple buying a book. This is just idea. It is so interesting. For example, like, okay, let's say you go and buy. You need to buy a book, right? So let's think about that organization, this bookshop. So they obviously have some sales assistant, right? And also what I want to say is that all the parts of each of these small elements sometimes just, you know, underrated, and we think that it's not maybe important, but if one of the elements will be absent, the whole system will break. So this is the idea. So for example, a shop assistant, so a bookshop will not exist if there will not be shop assistants, right? I mean, if it's not online book, or if you can pay for yourself, I don't mean that, but I mean, let's imagine that if they do not have a system. So shop assistant, also a cleaner, right, should clean it. Also they like managers, management, yes, managers. So they are analyzing all those management processes. It's also very important. Also advertisement managers, like they are making some advertisements so for people to come to the shop. Also the lawyers, so they think about all those documents considering this shop. Also the accountants, right? So they should count the money, give salary, etc., etc. Also the bosses, so someone should organize it, control it, right? So also, okay, if just within an organization, and there are many more people, of course, but I mean just talk like this. So, but let's go further. This shop rents, maybe rents the this area, right? So that means another big industry is involved. Someone built this home, this not home, but this building, right? So many people were involved: engineers, architects, who else? Builders, etc., etc. So many people, and also rent when you rent it. So you need to pay to those people. Also the banks, right? Because all those system goes into the bank accounts, and in banks, so many people are involved. Okay, the doctors. If let's imagine some of the people got ill, so obviously they need to go to the doctors. This is another big area which is involved, and we can go further and further, and finally go even into your work, how you personally connect with this buying of your book. So, and I don't know, I just really love this idea that everything is so connecting in this world, and just we sometimes do not understand how we are all connecting, and we think like, okay, this is okay, my sphere, this is another sphere, this is another one, but all of these spheres are really and extremely important. And yeah, I think this idea came to me when I was looking at the controller in the bus ticket not seller, ticket seller. Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, I was thinking like, okay, what if this person doesn't work? So the whole system would break, yes, because maybe this work is, some people think that it's kind of not important, but it is important, because thanks to this, so many things are happening, thanks to this person's work. Like in the, it's the same we can say about any even simple job, or that someone must do it. Someone must do it. And if you make a project in your life, you need to think about all those people who are involved. Like for example, when you are watching a film, in the end you can see that so that so many people, all this list, so many people were involved in just this 1 hour film, maybe 1 hour and a half, and just wow, this is amazing. And each of them was important, right? Having its own experience, doing their own jobs, and without them, all these film would not exist. Finally, although we sometimes name just director. Of course, I'm not saying saying that director's work is not important. No, I'm saying that, okay, I think you understand this idea that each of these elements are important, and each person should fulfill the work that he or she loves. This is very important. So guys, maybe this idea was interesting for you, or maybe even useful. So I love you with all my heart. Be yourself, be limitless, live life on your high quality terms, and remember, you are the best and you deserve the best. And think of what job, what work would you personally love to do, that something that you cannot live without, something that you are patient about, and that means that this is your true work that you must fulfill in this life.